Are we recording?
All right, you guys, so today we're going to be talking about single-use plastics. Single-use plastics are one of the most worst relationships that we are currently in our daily lives. According to plastics, since about 1950, we have created an average of 6.9 billion pounds of plastic. That is just generation and generation after generation, and plastic use. And plastic didn't really hit the main scene until about 1950. And then from there, you think about everything that we use in our daily lives is made from plastic. Now, some things are more beneficial being made from plastic, while others, where we get into single-use plastics, are not very beneficial. Single-use plastics are also known as disposable plastics, which means that it's meant for a single use, and whether it's a plastic eating utensil, a to-go cup, or plastic water bottle, and then it's meant to be disposed of. How many of you recycle? Show of hands? Just a few? Okay. We really need more regulations on recycling and better recycling in our neighborhoods and local areas to help reduce that impact of single-use plastic. Because single-use plastic is not very biodegradable. Recent studies have shown that we used to think that plastic biodegraded throughout the years, but it would take about 450 years to do so. As we've kind of come along in our research, we're now noting that single-use plastics don't biodegrade. They actually just continue to break down into smaller microplastics. Microplastics can be found throughout our oceans. And according to Plastic Waste Input out of Science magazine, there is an average on a yearly basis of 4.8 to 12.7 million tons of plastic waste that makes it into the ocean. That is an astounding number, and it's estimated by 2050 there's going to be more plastic waste in the ocean than actual fish. That's very alarming, not only for us, but also for our children and our children's children. Things that we can do to change these habits of this on-the-go lifestyle. We're always on the go, ready to go and grab a bottle of water and run out the door. We can switch to refillable bottles. You can install watering filter stations, and that way you have your refillable bottle and cut down that plastic waste. Taking your own cup when you go places. A lot of people have that policy where you can do that now also. There are just little changes that we can make throughout our lives to help focus on the environment and preserve our Mother Earth for our children and our children's children and our grandchildren. Additionally, with the use of single-use plastics, also incorporates very harmful chemicals like BPA, BPS, phthalates, and PVCs. All of those chemicals are known to the FDA to cause cancer, premature puberty, and infertility. So reducing the use of our single-use plastics in our daily lives can also impact our health as well as the environment. Small changes in our habits make a very big impact. Making those small changes in our habits by stopping the use of plastic bottles and stopping the use of to-go silverware or paper plates at home and just washing the dishes would actually make a big impact. It's just those little changes. If I don't drink 5 bottles of water today, that's 5 less bottles that make it to a landfill or make it to the ocean. We do need better alternatives though. There are not a lot of good alternatives right now. Recently this year, there are some cities that have banned straws. So for some it's inconvenient to go to Starbucks and they don't get their straw. It comes with a flat top lid now. So that can be seen as an inconvenience, but with better education and better understanding of why we're making those changes, it's more impactful from a personal level to understand the why. Why is there a need for that change? Why is this restriction in place? So before implementing restrictions on single-use plastics, we would be better off educating not only ourselves, but also our children and our older generations about why we need this reduction, about what the impact of single-use plastics are, and how they are continuing to pollute our environment and our habitats for our wildlife. Once we get that done, we would be able to then proceed from that education piece to implementation of restrictions, which would also be best benefited by regulated recycling programs. Texarkana is not a small city. It is an up-and-coming city, and we have a very poor recycling program in our area. We have trouble with the landfill actually taking our recycling. I know multiple people in this class have discussed how hard it is for the waste management to pick up your recycling because they just don't take it, or it's super hard, or they'll refuse it. As well as seeing a reduction in the places around town we can drop off our recycling. So having state-governed, regulated recycling programs, in addition to that education and those restrictions, would encompass all of those elements so that we would be able to reduce our single-use plastic use. In conclusion, it is very much beyond past time for us to break up with single-use plastic. Thank you.